Hello and good morning, everybody, and welcome to Wow Wednesday. I am your host, Nancy Matthews, one of the founders of Women's Prosperity Network, and I am joined today by one of the other founders, my sister, Trish Carr. Good morning, Trish.
Good morning, and good morning, everybody. I'm so glad that you're here with us today. We're going to have a fun conversation.
We're going to have a fun conversation. We're also going to be bringing some of you on with us to get some live coaching and support as it pertains to asking for the sale. We're also going to be giving away some prizes today. So be with us, be present, play full out, and let's see what you might be winning today. It's going to be an exciting day. And part of the reason we wanted to give prizes today, and we're doing this topic of asking for the sale, is we're in the midst, and hopefully many of you are part of this. And if you're part of our 5-day sprint, the ultimate client attraction and conversion system, go ahead and give me a yes, yes, yes in the chat or in the Facebook comments and let us know how you're doing. We want to celebrate all of the progress that you're making. So today we're bringing you this most important piece when it comes to attracting more clients, and that's being able to ask for the sale with calm, with clarity, and confidence. So we want to give you some prizes as an incentive to ask for the sale more often. So we've got some great things in store for you today. We're happy to have you with us and looking forward to you not only attracting more clients because if you've been doing the sprint, we've got you dialed in on some of the language that you'll use when you introduce yourself, some of the language that you'll be listening for when you're in conversation with people, so that you'll hear when they self-identify a need for your products and services. And then today, as we progress, it's being in a conversation with someone and using what we call the magic phrase, which I'm going to tell you in a little bit. The magic phrase that actually gives you permission to ask for the sale. There's this bridge that we're going to teach you about that makes it easy and natural to go from having a discovery call or a conversation into asking for the sale. So Trish, let's give a little bit of background for some people who may be just joining us. You have been in the field of sales, customer service for many, 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 many years, and share a little bit about kind of how you came up in the ranks and developed these really awesome skills when it comes to sales.
I was so fortunate to work for a company that understood that being good at sales meant that you had a structure, that it meant that you had a formula, one of my favorite things, to be able to support people in what they need and help them to see that my services, what I sold, would make a difference for them. And, I was really trained in what's called consultative sales.
Mm-hmm.
So there are lots of different types of sales. This is what the special is this month, and this is what we're selling. So make sure you push that, right? And there was always that kind of a thing. Hey, we want to make sure we move this month. But it was not you get on the phone with people and say, hey, you want to buy my widget, right? It was always finding out what was happening in the life of the person I was speaking to so that I could match my product or service with their needs and their wants. And that was the greatest gift I ever got, was to learn how to find out what people need instead of pushing what I want them to have.
Huge, huge. And we're going to talk about that a little bit more in terms of how do you get them to, open up to you. And one of the things that tomorrow we're going to be teaching in this 5-day sprint, we're doing a webinar tomorrow afternoon. And in that 5-day sprint, it's about how do you take connections from social media and convert them into paying clients. And I don't know about you, Trish, but when I'm on social media, and whether it's LinkedIn or Facebook, I get these errant out of the blue messages from people I don't know. And it says, hey, if you would like to lose 30 pounds in 30 days, I can show you how. PM me if you're interested. And,
Mm-hmm.
that's not the way to get my attention.
Yeah, yeah. It's sort of like, I feel like a lot of times it's the beginning of an infomercial. Here's why you need my thing. And I like to build a relationship. I think it's really important to build rapport. And if somebody says to you, hey, do you know somebody who can help me lose 30 pounds? Yeah, I'm going to say, that might be me. But I always feel really icky when people go in too fast for a sale.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I don't want to be the one that does that.
Right. So we want to take time in the beginning. So to be able to ask for the sale with calm, clarity, and confidence, the basis of those emotions that you're feeling are because you've taken the time to build some type of relationship, rapport, which equals trust. And that's the most important piece in a sales, actually in any conversation, in any relationship, is building trust. So when you're first having a conversation with someone, and especially if it's a follow-up call where you're just calling to connect. So that's one of the things that we're encouraging you all to do during this 5-day sprint is every day reach out to and connect with a minimum of 3 people per day. And I'm saying this, that connection is not like Trish said a moment ago. Hey, it's Nancy. Are you ready to buy my widget? Hey, it's Nancy. You ready to sign up for my coaching program? Hey, it's you. That's not how you start the conversation. And it's also not the intention for these types of connection calls. A connection call is about you reaching out to someone and being genuinely interested in them. Being curious what's happening in their life, seeing what they're up to, and then being skilled at asking questions that find out about what's happening with them in their lives that may reveal that they have a need for what you offer. So Trish, let's talk about this piece of the puzzle of asking really great questions when you're doing a connection call.
Let's get into that. But before we do that, if it's okay, I would love to talk about what your energy's like first.
Okay.
One of the things I know that you mentioned on the invitation page was being committed or attached to the outcome. So before we even get into what's the conversation going to be like, I think it's really important that those of us who are making these contacts with people, look at our own energy. Where are we coming from? What's the root? Where are we? Are we, hey, I'm calling Nancy because I met her, I liked her, I'd like to move the relationship forward. And if there's a way that I can make a difference for her, I want to be able to do that. Like that's the energy.
I love that. I want to layer one other piece into that. The other piece to layer into that is a foundational knowing that every single thing we want comes to us somehow, some way through other people. So when you call that person, rather than trying to, say, oh, this is a prospect. If you met somebody, you're interested in them, you'd like to get to know them better, you take the time to get to know them better. And you simply trust that the purpose and meaning for that connection will unfold in a natural way.
Yeah, it always does. I remember I had a conversation with a chiropractor, and rather than get into tell me about your practice and, what do you charge and all of that, we just talked about life in general when we first met. And so tell me about your family. And he went on to tell me about his wife, who is a major publisher. And it worked out so beautifully because I had a client who wanted to get published and needed someone at that level. And boom, there they were right in front of me. But I never would have even gotten that if I had just gone straight in for the what do you do, tell me about your business. It was, tell me about your life first. So that's a really important thing is that. So, the difference for me, between being, you always hear the joke about, are you the pig or are you the chicken? And I don't remember exactly how that goes when it comes to being attached or committed. What is it?
I got you. So the chicken, it's not attached. It's committed or interested is what that one is. So the chicken is involved in the process of having breakfast, a ham and eggs breakfast. The chicken's involved, but the pig is committed. Because the pig turns
that's true. The pig turns into bacon. But for me, I like to think of it as, it's what is my energy? Who is Trish going to be in this conversation? What is my way of being? And the difference between me choosing my way of being so that I am committed, or the choosing I'm attached, is very different. The choosing, the commitment is, I'm here, I'm open, I'm committed to making a difference for this person, I'm committed to this relationship going well, I'm committed to being the best I can be on this phone call. Attached is what you allow your energy to do if the call doesn't go your way. That's it. I own my energy beginning to end. Whatever happens, happens. I want the best outcome, as opposed to, oh, she's not buying and now I'm getting that feeling bad and I'm getting that pain in the pit of my stomach. That is not being committed. That is being attached to the outcome. Beautiful. So it's about you choosing your energy and staying with that, regardless of the outcome.
Beautiful. Great distinction. Great distinction. So when you first come to those connection calls, be committed, but not attached. And and ask questions, as Trish was talking about, where you can find out about the person and their life and what's happening with them. And the other piece of this is there's a principle of reciprocity that happens. So when, I'll give you a perfect example. So several years ago, I was actually working on my very first book called Visionaries with Guts. It was an anthology book. I had never done one before. This is back in 2009, before they were as popular as they are now. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. How am I going to do this? But I had an inspired idea, so I followed through. And I have a very dear friend that we've been friends since we're 5 years old. And that was many, many years ago. And so I was in the practice of every single day. And this is what I'm inviting you all to do. Every single day, I pick up my phone, scroll through my contact list, and just start calling 3 people a day. Make a commitment to just reach out and connect with 3 people a day. Look through your phone. Everybody you need is probably already in there, or is a pathway to the person you need. So anyway, I'm in this practice of calling 3 people a day, and I call my friend Karen just to check in and see how she is. We talk every 6 months or so. And so I was like, hey, Karen, how are you? What's happening in your life? I was just really interested. What's happening with your kids? What's going on with your business? She worked at Citicorp at the time. Little did I know the path that she was currently on of becoming a naturopath, doctor, healer, in that whole field. I had no idea she was doing that until I got on the call with her. And reciprocity is, I call her to be interested in her, and you know what's going to happen. Yeah, Roz wrote it in the chat. The practice of exchanging things with others for mutual benefit. So what I was exchanging was interest in Karen. Karen then said, wow, what are you up to, Nancy? So you start by asking people and being genuinely interested in them. They're going to return and ask you what's happening with you. Now, here's where your focus, intention, and skill comes into play. When you get asked that question, what's happening with you, your response is to share what you're most excited about in your business and your life. Now, this is different if you were calling a friend and you needed to work through a problem or something. But in this scenario, when they ask you what's happening in your life, you respond with, well, things are going great and I am so excited. And this is what I did with Karen, is I just launched a new project. I'm putting a book together and there's other authors that get to contribute and everybody gets to be highlighted as an author. I'm doing a big marketing blitz so that all the authors get promoted and they know, more people know about them. I was genuinely excited. I didn't know Karen would want this. And she ended up in that conversation, that connection call became a $3,000 sale because I was prepared to receive. I had something of value that she happened to be interested in. So that's the key. And that's part of it is you want to be asking, getting to know, be genuinely interested, and then be prepared to share the most exciting thing that's happening, whatever it is that you're working on in your business. So like Roz might say, oh my gosh, I just got through. I did this event over the weekend and it was beautiful and soulful. The people that came to it have transformed and they had all these amazing things happen in their life. Well, whoever's on the other end is going to say, wow, that sounds amazing. Tell me more about it. Then Roz will tell her more about it. And then she'll say, and as a matter of fact, I'm doing another one next month. Would you like to come? That's how easy and natural it can be. When you are genuinely interested in the other person and genuinely excited about what you have going on in your world, in your business, and the value that you bring to others. Trish?
Yeah. It's funny, when you just say what you're up to, people go, oh, really? So, for example, I was talking with someone a couple of months ago, and we had, hey, how you doing? I haven't seen you. I haven't seen you, but we've been on Zoom together, and I just was checking in to see how you're going. How's business? What's going on? And she started talking about it, and then she said, business is good. It's been challenging, as many people feel in this last year and a half. And then she said, what are you up to? I said, well, I'm getting ready. I'm getting ready to do my favorite training class. And it's the business of speaking, because this is the one where I actually get to use my talents 100%. And I really get into it and I love it. And then she said to me, I'm scared to death to. And I'm like, okay, I'm hearing that door creak open a little bit to have a conversation about this. That was like, I heard the door go, eee. So I was like, you know what? In my head, I said, why doesn't she want to speak? Why wouldn't she? Maybe she doesn't understand that this is a way to grow your business big time. So I said, really? I said, what is it that holds you back? And she said, well,
Trish, pause for 1 second, because I want to point out here, and one of the things that I hear people often say is, I don't want to feel pushy or sleazy.
Right.
So notice that when Trish heard the door open, she didn't go right in and say, well, I have a training class and you can come to it.
Exactly. You cannot do that.
She asked more questions. Right? The door opened a little. And this person just revealed something that, they were vulnerable about, or they shared about themselves. You don't want to go right in. That's that sleazy salesperson we don't like. You want to ask questions and continue to build that foundation. So that was a really good teaching point. I want to make sure everybody got it.
Thank you. I'm glad you did. Because, what's so natural is I don't realize it. And this is natural for me now. I'm a good listener. It's not like I'm listening for the door to open. I'm just listening, and the door opens, because I'm in tune. So I just asked her, what is it that holds you back? And she said, I'm nervous about it. I'm not sure I can really do it. I'm afraid I'm going to look like. She gave me a whole bunch of things. And I said, well, why would you want to speak in the first place? I mean, you said, I want to speak, but these reasons get in the way. So why would you want to speak? And I asked that question because I can't have her, I can't offer her the opportunity to speak if she doesn't even see the value in it. So I wanted to make sure that she understood the value, because value is everything. Price is so minuscule when the value is apparent, right? We're always so worried about, oh, will they pay? What won't they pay when they see the value? That's what you've got to ask yourself. So then we talked about it, and she said, yes, I would like to be able to see more people. And I know if I spoke, people would know who I am. And I want more people to know who I am. And I said, it's funny you say that, because that's exactly what I see with this workshop that I do. People come and they're afraid to speak, or they don't know how to speak, or they're afraid of looking bad. And they turn around, and within a week, they've done one talking, one speaking, and they've actually brought money into their business when they never thought that was possible. And then I could give an example if I wanted to. I would say, for example, so-and-so. For example, Gladys came to my workshop 4 years ago, and in the workshop, she created a program because she had the time to give herself some creative time, and we were coaching on it. And she created a program that not only has she sold since, but in the workshop, she sold $1,000 worth of the program she created right then and there. Within 30 days, she made 10 grand. Since she came to the class, she's made over $250,000 with that workshop that she created in the workshop. So people go, really? And now they're interested because I shared a real tangible example of what's possible for them, because they can't even see. So it really is about just having, my book is It's Just a Conversation. That's the mantra for my life. It's just a conversation. And when you have a conversation and you have it easy, authentic, and natural, if you were sitting on your patio with a friend, you would do it the same way. You would say, really, what holds you back? Instead of, hey, I got a workshop that can fix that.
Correct.
Right? It's a natural give and take in conversation. Now, if I asked her that question, or I got into the couple of questions, and I wanted to continue asking some specifics, I would ask permission to ask a few more questions. The reason for that is I don't want her to feel like I'm interrogating her. So the first questions are natural. Really, what holds you back? Oh, what happened there? And then I would make a bridge. Then I would say, I really think that I might be able to give you some suggestions on that. Can I ask you a couple specific questions? And then they always say, of course. And now I have permission to ask a couple more questions.
Beautiful.
And when I do,
wait.
All right, that was a lot, I know. Go ahead, Nancy.
So notice what Trish did there. So in our sales process that we share, and just so you know, we have a 2-day sales and marketing boot camp coming up October 8th and 9th, and that's one of the prizes we're going to give away. So perk up your ears, because we're going to give away some prizes to that workshop. In the process, this anatomy of this heart-centered sales process, there are 2 magic phrases that we teach to bridge and bring people into the place where they're asking to buy from you, as opposed to you pushing your sale. So, and Trish just revealed the first magic phrase, as we call it. So notice what she did. The door opened, she asked a couple of questions, being interested, but not going really deep and personal yet, just some open questions to find out more. And then she said, I might be able to give you some suggestions and help with that. Would it be okay if I asked you a couple of more questions? And the person said, yes, because you're offering to help them. You're offering to make a difference for them. Who would deny that? No, thanks. I just want to stay stuck in my problem. No, I don't ask me any more questions. When you've got that rapport built in the beginning of the conversation and they've shared some, they feel safe. Well, I might be able to help you with that. Could I ask you a couple of more questions? Sure. Now you got permission to really, get deep and closer to what it is that they need. So continue, Trish.
Mm-hmm. And let me just make a little caveat there. This is with me making the phone call. Sometimes somebody will call you and ask you, you get a referral. I get referrals all the time. Oh, go to Trish. She's a communication expert. She can help you with your messaging. She can get you on stages, all that stuff. So people will call and say, hey, Luana referred me to you and I'd like to know about your training class. And I'll go, great, that's awesome. I'm so glad that you called. Would it be okay if I ask you a few questions so I can make sure I recommend the right training class for you? Same thing. If I just go in, oh, you're going to love my 2-day training class, Sales and Marketing Boot Camp. It's October 8th and 9th. That might not even be the right thing. What this person might need might be a one-on-one with me in addition to the class. They might want to take a 6-week class because they got to get this done and they want it done in the next 6 weeks. So it's really a disservice not to ask those questions. It really is, because you may be giving something that, yes, it will do the job, but will it do the premium job? Will it do the best job for both of you? So I just wanted to mention that as well. So then I would ask some open questions. Now, you've all heard this term before. Open questions start with who, what, when, where. The other one, the other W, is why. I stay away from why. I stay away from why because it can put people on the defensive. So if you notice, when I asked her, what holds you back from speaking? I didn't say, why don't you speak? What holds you back is a much more open way and less defensive way. So I'll only ask a few questions. And I often start the question with, tell me about your business.
Beautiful.
Right? Tell me about is a great way to have an open question. And then your conversation will flow because they are doing most of the talking. You know this. You have one mouth, 2 ears for a reason. You want to listen twice as much as you talk. And let me mention, if you're doing all the talking, all you're doing is selling. If you're doing listening, you're there to consult and make a difference.
Fantastic. It's good stuff. All right, we got another magic phrase that we're going to share, and I want to pause for a moment and give away a prize. So here's how we're going to do this. Many of you, and if you're not already in it, get in the 5-day sprint. You'll get everything that we've been doing earlier this week. You can still earn some more prizes. And best of all, you'll get clients, happy paying clients. So Trish, do you have the space to put the link? Oh, you already did it. Join the sprint. She's so good. And let's put it in the Facebook. I'll do it there in just a moment. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the line. So here's what I want to know. If you are part of this 5-day sprint and you have introduced yourself inside of the Women's Prosperity Network Facebook group, if you put a post on there, hi, I'm Nancy Matthews. I work with high achieving entrepreneurs who want to have greater success in their relationships. And I didn't do that perfect, but if you went to the Facebook group, that was one of the action items, went to the Facebook group and introduced yourself, go ahead and raise your hand inside of the Facebook group. You could just post in there, or you could raise your hand and we'll bring you on. And you'll get an opportunity to introduce yourself. So let me go. And Mary Jane was the first one with her hand up. Mary Jane, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hey, hi.
Hi. So you put your introduction in the Facebook group?
I believe I did. Yeah, I put my sample response from a client and my introduction.
Yay! So, awesome, awesome. Well, because you did that, Mary Jane, 2 things. I would like for you to introduce yourself here so everybody in the community gets to know you. Okay. So go ahead and do your introduction here.
Mary,
okay, take a breath. I know I put you on the spot. We love you. We believe in you. We're so grateful you're here. Thank you for being who you are and what you do.
Okay. I'm Mary Jane Charles of MJ Charles and Associates. I provide the #1 marketing tool to small business owners who, I forgot my last, I blanked. I'm sorry.
That's all right. Okay. That sounds really good.
So that they spend more time in their business than on their business, and their marketing will be working for them 24/7 to retain and obtain clients as well as receive cold referrals.
Ooh, baby,
Yes.
that.
Yes, yes. Let's hear it from Mary Jane and I. Mary Jane, that was so good. Your first sentence, I supply the #1 marketing tool, got my attention. You know, Mary Jane and I have been working together for the last 3 weeks, and Mary Jane has the #1 marketing tool, and she's really good at it. So getting it out to the world is key. And that first phrase was great. The other thing you said was what it was going to do for me. It was going to, so I can work in my business, not on my business. I mean, that was good, Mary Jane. Way to go, sister.
Thank you.
Fantabulous, fantabulous. So, Mary Jane, you just won a ticket to the Sales and Marketing Boot Camp. It's a $200 value.
Oh,
Yeah. Taking place October 9th, 8th, and 9th, whatever the Friday and Saturday is of that week, because I think I might be a little confused. But the 8th and 9th, from 12 to 5 p.m. Eastern, join us for the Sales and Marketing Boot Camp. And like, you're going to have a whole bunch of people there interested in marketing. Hello.
yay. First dinner's on me, ladies.
There you go. I love it. I love it, Mary Jane. Congratulations, and thank you for playing full out as you are.
Thank you. That's
Beautiful.
great.
Yep. And Susan will be in touch with you to make sure you have your ticket and you have all the details around it.
All righty.
All right. Congratulations. All right. Let's go ahead and Trish, let's take them through the next part of the process with the second magic phrase. Can you guide them in that process?
Yeah. So here's what happens is oftentimes we'll be talking with someone and having these kinds of conversations, and we will want to tell them what they can do. So, for example, if this woman had said to me, you know, I'm really nervous when I speak on the stage, and my train of thought gets lost, and I said, well, let me give you a couple of suggestions about how you can overcome that fear. And I give them all of my suggestions about overcoming the fear. Then they're going to go, oh, that was great, thanks. And then I'm going to go, all right, well, let's go ahead and get you registered for the workshop. Which credit card would you like to use? And then she'll say, well, let me try those techniques that you gave me. I'm good. And you're sitting there going, oh, what did I do? So here's the phrase. First of all, I would give her a suggestion so that she can see my expertise. And I would say, you know, one of the easiest things you can do when you're feeling nervous is take a breath. And let me explain how that works. And then I would give her the information about it. And then I would say, you know, honestly, it looks as if you understand. So now I'm going to recap everything that was said to me and what she said. It sounds to me like you understand that there's a possibility to grow your business in a big way if you were to be able to speak more, do tips on Facebook and Instagram, just be out there more, wouldn't it? And she'd say, yes. And then I would say, and you told me that, you know, business has been a challenge and that this might be the avenue to get you there. Isn't that right? And then she's going to say, yes. And then I'm going to say, well, would it be okay if I shared with you now how we might work together so that you can make this happen? And she's going to say, yes. And then I'm going to share with her the best solution to whatever it is that's happening. Whether that solution is the workshop I originally talked about, or a training class that's different, or one-on-one with me, or working in a group program. I have many options. And then I'm going to share. So what often happens for us is we tell them what to do, and then they don't need us because they don't get that they need us because now they have an answer. So yes, you can share a little, one tip, but the idea is to repeat what you've heard so they know you heard them and you understand what it is that's happening for them. And notice they already said yes 3 times before you even made your offer.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what I told you. Yes, you can go ahead and tell me. And then I would make the invitation, and that too has a structure.
Yeah.
But the
Beautiful.
question is, now that, you know, I've heard this, this, and this, would it be okay if I share with you how we might work together so that you can have the thing you want?
Yeah.
And of course they're going to say yes, because I want that thing.
Yeah. You know, that is perfect. And we're going to open up for some questions in just a few minutes. And I want everybody to know that the only time I've ever heard any kind of even resistance around when I asked, would it be okay if I share how we could work together to get you, and then use their words of the things they wanted. The only thing I've ever heard that may sound like resistance is the other person, that person's assumption that maybe they can't afford me. It's the only time I've ever heard that. Well, like, yeah, I'd love to know, but I don't think I can afford you. And so here's the answer to that. That's not what we're going to be concerned about. I've got a variety of offerings. Let's just see what's going to fit you best and how we can work it out. That's all. And it goes back to holding your energy, to being committed to provide value and service to help that person get what they want without being attached to the outcome.
Right, because the person who's attached, when they hear that, their energy is going to drop.
And they might say, oh, right, you probably can't afford me. Goodbye.
No, worse yet, they're going to say, oh, sure you can, which totally discounts what that person just said. There was no acknowledgement of how they feel. Yeah. There was no emotional connection. It was, you're wrong. Of course you can. That's big too. I mean, these are interpersonal skills that we're talking about here. Nancy's and the People Skills Academy, that's what Nancy works through, is people skills, because it really is a combination of sales skills and people skills. I can teach you people skills. You can learn them. They are a behavior. And once you have the people skills to go with the formula of sales, life is good. Life is easy. Sales is fun. Sales is fun. And here's the thing. No matter what, when you hang up that phone, the goal is that that person had a great experience.
Yeah.
That's it. Apple. You all are familiar with the company Apple. Do you know how they teach their people to sell? Consultative sales. Exactly what I just told you. If you walk into an Apple store, they're going to ask you, how do you use your phone? What's important to you with your, they're not just going to say, here's the newest iPhone. They're going to say, let's find out what's good for you. And their bottom line is the same as my bottom line. The ultimate goal is that customer had a good experience. And of course, I had a good experience as well, because that goes hand in hand, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. All right, let me do this. I want to give away another ticket. Actually, I'm not going to give away a ticket.
What are you giving away?
I'm going to give away something better, and it was inspired by Roz' comment she put in the chat. So the person who has gone ahead and called 3 people yesterday, if you are part of the sprint and yesterday you reached out and called 3 people, which was one of the action items that we had there, go ahead and unmute yourself or raise your hand, and I'm going to pick one of you to share about your experience and what that was like. So raise your hand, hit *6. And I will do my best to be random at picking someone. So I'm working on it. There we go. Allowed to talk, allowed to talk. This is a new type of thing. So if you did the action item in the sprint and you would like to win a one-on-one private session with either Trish or myself, that's what we're going to give away right now.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
So that was what was inspired. All right, let me make sure we have everybody who's here being able to participate. So I think I got everybody who's here. And all right, so I only see one person with their hand raised. So if you called 3 people either yesterday or the day before, raise your hand or unmute yourself and we'll get that story going. And it looks like I only see one hand raised so far. It is Roz. So tell us what happened.
Guess what? You won't be able to give me the win. I put the ideal in that because I've missed 2 days of the sprint, but I did want to share the 3 calls for me were the follow-up calls from the event. So I did that and already got the people because I'm going to do it quarterly, but you pushed me and said once a month.
I did say
yes. So now I'm going to go talk to my people. So I don't think I get to win because I haven't been a part of it.
Oh, that's okay.
Okay.
Did you make 3 phone calls yesterday?
Yes, I did. And I made the 3 calls because of the follow-up. I made 3 calls on Monday. I made 3 calls because I saw that what you were doing. I just hadn't been able to be with you all. And mine, they were follow-ups to the event.
That was it, honey. You get your one-on-one.
Yay.
Awesome. Congratulations. We will reach out and follow up. I'll have either Stephanie or Susan give you a call so you can get your one-on-one scheduled.
Well, thank you. Yoo-hoo. Pays to be in a place, right?
It pays to play, and you inspired the idea about having a one-on-one be the prize.
Thank you so much. You are loved.
You are loved, appreciated, celebrated, valued, and most cherished.
Yippee!
Oh, very good. She got it right.
I'm going to always get it right now. That's so awesome. All right, good. Let's go ahead and open up for some more callers. I see somebody unmuted, 413. If you'd like to share, ask a question, and play with us, come on board. Hi. And who's it? Code 413?
413 just hit their button to go on mute again. So hit *6 so we can hear you.
It's okay.
There you go. You're open. No, she's open. Hi. 413. Hi, who's that?
Nancy. Hi, it's Victoria. Hi, Trish.
Hey, Victoria.
So, yes, I was making calls. I'm sorry. I was doing another meeting, hosting a meeting, an introductory meeting to my work. So I've been working really hard on that, and I've missed the sprint. So I'd like to join it, and I've been making 3 calls a day for a few days. And what was your now?
If you've been making 3 calls a day, that is fantastic. And Victoria, I'm going to give you a ticket to the Sales and Marketing Bootcamp. Would you like that?
Yay.
Oh, I would love it. Thank you so much.
All right.
I'm thrilled.
All right. And so I'm so glad that you're here joining us. Trish just put the link in the chat, and just check your email. Or look in our Facebook group, Victoria, so that you can join the sprint, because there's some really juicy things in there. And one of them is a 5-minute meditation. You just listen to this for 5 minutes before you pick up the phone or get on a Zoom. And it's really about boosting your energy for when you're making follow-up and connection calls. So so when you sign up for the sprint, you're going to get lots of goodies, lots of training, as well as simple action steps to make sure that you're attracting and converting clients. So grab that link, Victoria, and congratulations. I'll have Susan reach out to you about the workshop.
Oh, fantastic. And I love that 5-minute meditation. Thank you for reminding me of it.
You are most welcome. You're most welcome.
Have a good day.
You
Bye-bye.
too. All right, let's go ahead. Peg Duchesne, come on down or come on up.
Good morning, Nancy and Trish. How are you today?
So good.
Nice to see you.
So one of the things I love to do that I learned from you is either the Q-tip or the toothpick challenge, where if I'm going to make 3 calls or 5 calls, or some days I absolutely have to make 10 calls, I put on the left side of my desk 10 Q-tips. And as I make each call, I move a Q-tip to the right. And then when I have 1 or 2 Q-tips left, it is just the most fantastic feeling of what I've done. It goes back to that Brian Tracy, eat that frog.
Yes.
If you eat the biggest frog, the rest go down more quickly and smoothly, right? So I love the Q-tip or the toothpick, and I tend to use Q-tips, just moving them from left to right and make a game of it. And it really helps us get through over the hurdle and done what we want to get done. So a tip I learned from you. So thank you so much.
You're most welcome. I picked that tip up from Sandra Yancey from eWomen Network, and it works like a charm. So Peg, how's it going with making your calls?
Better and better every day.
All right, good, good, good. That's what we like to hear.
Yep. And I learned so much from Women's Prosperity Network, and I'm so glad I'm in the Momentum program. So if some of the people on the call haven't heard about Momentum, when the doors open, take advantage.
Take advantage, and the doors are opening soon. Thank you, Peg. And it's so good to have you with us. And I love the fact, Peg, that you have been in our lives, in our world of Women's Prosperity Network, probably for 11 years now. Isn't that right?
Mm-hmm.
I think it was since 2008. It was at that Extreme Business Network. You all had a table. You were just starting. It was a long, long time.
I know. It's so good. It's great to have you with us all this time on the journey together.
Love it. Love it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Have a wow Wednesday.
Yes. Congratulations on being in action. Action makes everything happen.
Beautiful. All right, let's go ahead. I'm going to open up. Mary Jane, I see that your line is open. Do you have a question or a celebration you want to share?
One second, I'm sorry. There I am. I made a reconnection call the other day, and it was to an old business associate, old bookkeeping client, and he's got all his bases covered, but he then said he had friends in Hawaii and who were just opening a restaurant. So he was forwarding my information to them. So, and that was just like, hi, remember me? And he was thrilled. Yes, Mary Jane, how are you? The next day, I had a call, absolutely cold turkey, young man, so my old fearless ad someplace, and called me, and I couldn't help him. He wanted somebody there on a daily basis or in person. But I was able to give him a reference for another distillery owner, their business people, and another client of mine is an equipment fixer guy. So we're on the phone for almost 25 minutes. So it's amazing. You put out good karma and it comes right back very quickly.
Yeah, exactly. Mary Jane, I'm so excited for what you're up to. You know, we talked about different ways and who to reach out to, and you're doing it. So first of all, pat yourself on the back for doing it. That's the first thing. You really deserve that. And then secondly, you're absolutely right. When you create the energy of reaching out to other people, a magical thing happens and your phone starts ringing. It's that the law of reciprocity, right? I start making phone calls and the universe says, well, let me have people call you too. And the next thing you know, you're in the flow. It's all about being in the flow. That's wonderful, Mary Jane. I'm thrilled to hear it.
Thank you.
Awesome. Congratulations. All right, beautiful. Keep on flowing, my friend.
Yep, thanks.
Awesome. All right, I see Abigail Tiefenthaler has got her line open. Good morning, Abigail.
Hey, good morning. You guys asked me to unmute, so I didn't know if there was something you wanted to ask me or I mean, we're all in that same space. So, you know, it's, I completely agree that conversational sales, we call it relationship sales.
Yeah.
Right.
It's all about building relationships. And, you know, here is the one thing that I will add for everyone that is a little nervous about getting on calls is, you know, or doing reach out is don't let it replace your marketing, because the more you are seen and heard and have an opportunity to show up as you are, and that happens in the marketing follow-up, which, you know, a lot of people talk about sales and they negate the fact that marketing is designed as a people mover as well. You know, if you don't want to be a hunter, right? If you don't want to be a hunter, you want to grow your own crops, you need marketing. That's the people mover of your business, the people grower, the prospect, continuum, decision making. All of those things happen in marketing.
Yeah.
So,
Abigail, you're so on point, and that's why we do a sales and marketing boot camp. They go together, they go hand in hand. That's why this 5-day sprint is a client attraction, aka marketing, and conversion, right, aka selling. And here's what we've noticed, and you've probably seen this too, that individuals can spend too much time in one area and not the other. They've got to, right, it's got to be a complement.
Well, and here's the thing, especially if you've come from a corporate environment, a lot of people always seem to see an adversarial relationship. Well, if marketing did this, then sales could do this. If sales did this, then marketing would do this. And when you are responsible for both pieces, because you're right, they are as integrated, as any two disciplines can be, you find that you realize that every opportunity to have a conversation revolving around your product makes you a better marketer.
That's right. Because
so that you can
listening. Yeah.
Exactly. So I think what you're doing is amazing. You know how much I love you too, and your sister and Susan. And when I ever get back down to Florida, I'm going to come and see you.
Yay! Abigail, there's one thing too that I want to make a point, and you're the one, it always stayed with me that when, you are a marketing expert and you've been doing this a long time. And one of the things I remember you telling me was there was a client that you were trying to get. It was a big company. I can't remember, Kraft or somebody. And every time you would reach out to them, they would say, no, we're not interested. But you would always follow up. And yes, 4 years of follow-up, and you finally landed that account. Which one was it? Do you remember?
It was Hershey Foods. We
Hershey.
Actually,
there you go.
Yeah, well, actually, there were two different. There was Wyeth, which is a pharmaceutical company. I called on the director of women's health for a year. Every single Wednesday, I spoke with her secretary at the time. We're going back, 25 years. And every single week she was pleasant. And the funny thing about that story was that when she said, oh, Barbara would like to schedule a meeting with you. I said, no, you have me confused with somebody else because I was so expecting the no. David at Hershey Foods, it was 4 years, and we ended up bringing him a joint promotion that the other client had never done. So we collaborated with two clients, Kodak and Hershey Foods, for an Easter promotion. So, this is it. A no is not personal. A no is a definitive answer. I always respond and follow up with a no. If someone says, well, is it no now, or, are you never going to be interested? Is it no forever? Because for the most times we catch people on our timing, but they have to decide on their timing.
Love that.
So they might say, no, I'm in the middle of third quarter planning. I can't even think about January, or, so I used to keep Rolodex cards with all my prospects in the old days. And I would literally write down what the conversation was. Oh, they were celebrating an anniversary. Because you're right, you get into conversations, what their kids' softball teams' colors are. You learn a lot about them over the course of developing that relationship. And so it allowed us to continue the conversation. We didn't always feel like we were starting from zero.
And you didn't feel pushy. You just, you asked permission. Is it okay if I follow up with you again next month? And they'd say yes, and you would. I mean, that's really all it takes. And sometimes it takes a year of follow-up. But it doesn't mean that they're, and that was the other thing I got from you was, is it no, not now, or no, not ever?
Exactly. Because it's, you will meet some of the greatest people in the world if you stop to listen and have a conversation with them.
Ooh, I love that.
I don't ever, I know a lot of marketers and they're like, I don't have time for that. I'm like, I don't have time not to do it. because to me, you meet friends, you meet business associates, you meet referral partners, you meet collaborators. If you said no to the
Yep.
conversation, where does it go from there?
Yeah,
All right,
absolutely.
thank
Abigail,
you.
yeah, you rock, Abigail Tiefenthaler. Thank you so much for contributing today and contributing always. I always learn from you, my friend.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, ladies. Thanks for asking me to come on. I love getting on these calls, and I'm usually pretty quiet. I'm like a stalker, but I'm thrilled to be here today. And good luck, everybody who is on this call or listens to the recording. These two women rock. I have been in this business for 35 years. I have known these two women since 2007 or 8, when we were all just starting. But these
Yep.
women know their stuff.
Awesome. Thank you, Abigail. You're
Thank
awesome.
you, my friend. I appreciate you.
Anytime.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and we're going to wrap up today's Wow Wednesday. And we trust that you've picked up some tools, some ideas, and some energy suggestions so that you can be asking for the sale with calm, with clarity, and confidence, because you take time to build that relationship. If you are not already part of the 5-day sprint, the ultimate client attraction and conversion challenge, get in right now. Tomorrow, we're going to be revealing marketing strategies to attract. We wanted to get you in motion, get you confident in speaking and what you're going to talk about as you attract these new clients, because there's nothing that would serve you better to be prepared for all the attraction of new clients that you're going to get in with what we share with you tomorrow and Friday. If you attracted a client and then you blew it, like, that's not good. So we wanted to make sure you were set up for success first. So go to Women's Prosperity, actually members.womensprosperitynetwork.com/CAS. I know it's kind of long, or check your email. There'll be an email going out later today to make sure that you can get in on the 5-day sprint. Join us for the trainings. And get out there and make a difference in the world. Be the one for others that you do. Trish, any final thoughts before we wrap today?
Just one thing I'd like to add is that in the 5-day sprint, I get that we've been into it for 3 days now. And what we're going to end up with and what we're going to do as we're rolling and finishing up the sprint is we're going to do a whole feedback session. You say, what happened? What could I have done differently? How did I handle this? What could I do next time? We're going to do a feedback session. So join the sprint so that you can get some one-on-one coaching, so that you can find out what you can do just to tweak it a little bit so that you have even more success. So make sure you go to the sprint. The link is in the chat, so in the Facebook comments as well. And I look forward to seeing you there. Feedback is a gift. Come and get some.
Beautiful. All right, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. Get out there, make it a wow day, and we'll see you tomorrow for the sprint. Bye, everybody. Bye, Trish.
Bye, everybody. Bye-bye. Have a wow Wednesday, everybody.
Yay.
Wow, wow, wow.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.